All right, here we are again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ta-da! You can't
we're
keep us
back.
down. You know, you keep that. You keep
Right.
keep that going.
That was weird.
A lot more than that.
They're
Hey, Jamie.
What do they think
nothing.
going on there?
Nothing's
What's
gonna
up,
stop
everybody?
us.
No,
So,
we're gonna
so,
go
so
live.
I got some info to share.
What's up?
Let's go.
Hi, Tanner.
So I want to share with everyone because I heard from my attorney Richard today. He finally called me. We spoke for about an hour and a half. He did get the specialist on board. The only thing holding him back now is my other attorney told him to hold off for the moment. And we heard back from the AAG. She said she didn't know why they had jurisdiction. So he asked her to please find out, and she never answered him back, which tells me that they definitely do not have the jurisdiction. And he
Who doesn't
believes
have jurisdiction?
the Kennebec County.
Okay.
Are you still dealing with like a couple different counties jurisdictions?
There would be only 2 counties that they could use, but the problem here lies that everything that was said to have happened here,
Oh,
which
so
is
that's
the main jurisdiction where I am is
right,
Cumberland County.
right, and that should be the one that it's in. So you challenge it. So say again what they said. Sorry.
She said she didn't know if they had jurisdiction or not.
So that's odd. So you're gonna
So who
challenge
are
it?
they saying? Who are they saying they didn't know had jurisdiction?
They're saying that Kennebec County didn't know if they had jurisdiction. Well, you should know automatically if you have jurisdiction because
Right.
if the person hasn't lived there more than 6 months, you do not have jurisdiction.
Yeah, doesn't it base it on where the child lays its head for 6 months?
Yes.
That's where the jurisdiction lies.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Right.
It's supposed to be where the child. Yeah, and that's. So now it's up in the air where the jurisdictions lie in, which court it's going to be in, with you, Vinny. Is that right?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Not only that, we are gonna do a motion. We're filing a motion for just cause, to show just cause, about my oldest, because we feel that CPS is the one that has prevented visitations with the oldest.
Do the kids get to see each other? Do they visit?
No, they do not.
See, and that's like my son. He hadn't seen his sisters in 2 years, and that if they separate the siblings, they're supposed to be visiting like often, and that they're supposed to be connected with their community. And my son, he's 4 states away and has not. I mean, he's out there in Texas and no family, nothing's out there. He's just, and it's crazy. I mean, you would think they would want to. I mean, a lot of stuff's about to change a lot. Like,
I also think that Richard's starting to see the same thing that Steven's starting to see, and they're both just like scratching their head, going, "There's just a lot wrong here." And he told me that today, basically, without him even having to say it, and just the roundabout words that he was telling me. He's starting to scratch his head on everything and question everything now.
The attorney?
Yeah.
Is that the yeah, that's a good sign. I mean, that's a good, if he's starting to question things, then you know. I mean,
you should have been questioning everything since the beginning, since they're supposed to believe you.
Well, see, he wasn't the attorney in the beginning.
Oh.
The attorney was someone else that I had fired because he wasn't doing his job.
Is this the CPS attorney that you're talking about?
This one was. He worked for the first one I had. He actually worked for CPS. You could tell because he wouldn't file any motions. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do that. At every corner that I
And
questioned him on, he would say, no, no, no.
Yeah,
right,
We're
fine,
going to
it's
go by what they say. Excuse me? No, I don't have a contract with them.
right. And you can, like, when you ask him to file something for you, he should do it. Like, no ands, if or buts. And I went through that with my court appointed attorney, and there was nothing filed. And she told me there's nothing to appeal, there's no discovery. I'm like, well, I mean, where's my case? Like, where's the court orders? Like, and oh, she produced them real quick when but she was just wanting to get off the case, period. Like, before he.
I almost guarantee you, with what we're starting to see up here in Maine, I mean, Lewiston's just the first to come, but they're starting to target some of the CPS offices around here. And I think we're going to start seeing some of these workers go bye-bye before the new administration comes in.
Like,
maybe
like,
that'd be nice.
like jobless.
Like,
Or,
there was more than 6 people removed from a case here in Maine.
oh, okay. I mean, we're gonna start seeing changes, like stuff happening. And I've noticed just in the last couple, like just this week alone, I've noticed that there's more groups coming together, and the smaller ones. And that's the thing, is like, we have to come together as one. We can't, and instead, and it's not we're not supposed to be divided. We have to come together as one, and stand together, and and hope that we're not going to have too many chiefs, and not, you know what I'm saying, like too many.
There shouldn't be any chiefs, first of all.
Right,
This is all about
exactly.
getting their kids. This isn't
Yep.
about everybody making money. This isn't about
Exactly. And that's what
this isn't
a
about
lot
any of that stuff.
pack it up.
It's
Yep.
back
No,
it up.
I don't need to be a chief. You know what? Because
Nope.
I highly believe in all the fraud and everything in this case from the start to the finish. Like, I've watched this from the outside, and I've been part of it, yes, because of what they've done to me and my family. But I've watched this for years, and I've always wondered about some of the stuff going on. And I started dabbling, and I started looking, and I started reading, and I started searching. And that's what led me up to everything that I've found in my case.
See, I never knew that it was this corrupt. Like, over, even after the guardianship, like, the average person don't see it until they actually go through it, or know someone that, I mean, and even when like a friend of mine, even if she may not have ever experienced it, but she still don't realize how bad it is, like,
well, I mean, isn't this the problem? Isn't this why, one, people are uneducated about what's really going on? So this is why you have so much shock when CPS comes into your life.
Right.
This is why you don't turn them away at the door, because you don't even know. You're expecting a government agency to come involved in your house, do the right thing, be the right people, do all of this. And instead, you're supposed to be like, screw off, man. Get off my property. Police officer trespassed this person. Get them out of here. They don't belong here. But you don't know that.
No.
And how do you know? So here's the question. How do we make it so that people that aren't affected yet get the knowledge that they need to know about CPS?
Voice it. Put it
Darren, can you send him a different link or something?
I already did.
Herbert.
He's got one.
Yeah, he said we having issues or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could speak out a lot, like, just start voicing letting our voices be heard. I know, and just talking about it. I've noticed that talking about it just and who's talking? Wait.
Sorry, I was yelling at my cat because he's climbing on my TV over there.
No, right. Spreading the word is definitely it. Like, you need to, like my wife always says, like, get involved in some local hospitals. So when they do like the birthing classes, maybe you do get some people to do like 30-minute classes on, hey, CPS could come and here's what your rights are. Don't say, like, screw them or whatever. Be good about it. But, like, look, make sure you know your rights when CPS comes.
And like, there's even there's you can have like big groups, like speak at, like have a big group, like a speaking, like be a speaker, to talk about it. Or like you
Yeah.
said, classes or seminars, or like this, the podcast. Just it's got to be the voices. We have to speak about it. We have to
Right.
talk about it, because this is something that's unseen. It's unseen and unheard. Like this is
Right.
the quiet. Like that's why when like the hidden scarlet letter, it's just like the
Right.
systematic failures in the like foster care or in CPS, and they are being kept secret. It's hidden.
Yeah.
They're not, and that's why that's when I come up with that, because I thought about the scarlet letter, but I was like, it's the hidden systematic failures that they're not speaking of. Like these caseworkers are supposed to tell their these parents what they need to do. They should be, from my understanding, when my case first started, that the case, and what I read in a brochure, is the caseworker should be like attached to you at the hip if you're going through this, if you're a parent. So, but in my experience, it was nothing like that. Like it was total, but something, an order that was put into effect a decade ago, which was the original guardianship order, and for everything to be going on like it did, I was speechless, clueless, and dumbfounded, honestly. Like I didn't know where to turn to. My mom was gone. My mom was, she was in she was gone,
Yeah.
and that was the person that I needed to get answers from. Like, mom, and I couldn't, but I lost my mom and my son at this, right there. And it's just this, but
Well, your son lost his grandma, and that,
yes,
how do you
and
replace that? By them screwing with him. Now he's lost those last days of being with his grandmother because CPS screwed with your son.
Yep.
Like
And
that. How do you do that? How do you entertain that? How do you bring that back to the kids when they come home? Like if these kids, when they're taken from their homes, they have a full-fledged family, and they come back and their family's gone. Like
and
that's something that you got to think about. They don't think about that shit. They don't think about any of that.
And my son, he was there when my mom, when it happened, but my dad, and like like he's been out there in Texas, but me and my aunt and uncle have been the ones, and my brother, of course, have been the ones reaching out, like talking to him. My dad has not called him. His sisters have not. And I'm like, how can you? So he's asking, where's Papa? Where's Mima? Like nobody told him that my mother was gone,
Sick,
so
right.
yeah. And so he's and it's just, it's crazy. I don't understand.
Can you imagine being a little kid? Can you imagine being a little kid that's taken from that home, and they have grandparents, they have a dog, they have all of this stuff when they leave, and they come back and there's nothing there?
Now,
what are these little kids facing when they come back, and how do they prepare them for that?
Do you want? I could. I don't know if you're. My son, he gave me permission. I can do whatever. Like he told me to make him famous. But yeah, that's what he said. But I can show a picture of my son when he first was in. He was mute. He didn't talk or nothing. So you got to think he was just he was pretty much kidnapped from his the only home he knew since birth. And if I can I put a picture of him up?
Up to you. That's your call.
Oh, can I send it to you? Or
yeah, go ahead.
if you pull it, and when you look at him, y'all tell me what you. I'll send it right over. But he's
like
hot
before and after.
Yeah, I'll definitely. So because these people don't realize when, like, for instance, the anonymous callers that call in on these people, like, just out of spite. Do you realize that one call is going to be a domino effect and a ripple effect, and it's going to cause and that's what, like, with my case, it's a everlasting thing that's going to be traumatizing. And I can only imagine what my son is gonna be talking about when and honestly, am I afraid? Yeah, of course. Like, I don't know what he's gonna say, because I'm telling you right now, I know he's got a lot to say. A lot.
How long has he been gone?
2 years. 2 years. And what I've seen on the visits, the video visits that what I've seen, I know that he has a lot to talk about. And
now, isn't that scary? Isn't that scary to find out what he's actually been put through?
Yeah, it's very scary. I know. I mean, I know it's because he already said he has a lot to talk about when I'm just my mind. I try to stay busy, you know, so my mind don't, because I already know. I mean, I'm gonna go through all those emotions again. Like
it's gonna be a 24-hour rehab for you every day for a long time, if not the rest of your life.
Right.
Because how does he trust you? How does he trust you to be his safe space again?
Because my son does trust me, because
I'm not saying that rudely. I'm saying, though, like, in general.
Oh, I know.
How do these kids even trust? How do these kids even trust anything again that's supposed to be safe for them?
Now, right. My son, he don't really show emotions because he's autistic, you know. But I can't, like, his safe space. He does, you know, because he knows we would, if he was ever in trouble, like this situation, we would be there. Like, my kids have always known that, you know. But in a kid, I see these other kids
like
out
every
there,
other kid.
right?
They're all taken.
Right, and these kids that are out there, though, that I see on these visits, they're lost, they're confused. And when I call in to my son, they want to talk on the phone. They don't have, I've seen other autistic kids that are like my son's age or a little bit younger. They don't have families that call in. They don't have family. So when
All right.
Now we are.
We're back on.
Okay, so back to what we were saying. Like you said, the safe space and these kids that are lost in the system, that they don't deserve to be in a detention, like put away. Even any child, they deserve a chance at life as well. And
you're absolutely right. They don't deserve to be put away. That's exactly what they do.
And I don't like when these residential treatment facilities. I think they all should go. Like they shouldn't even. It's like a prison.
Yeah, of course. And these kids deserve nothing but the best treatment. They're supposedly coming from an abusive situation. They should be put up at Disney World. They should be put up at the fine. Well, I don't know about Disney World, but they should be put up at some of the finest establishments. You know what I mean? And treated like freaking royalty. But no, they put them in jail. That's what they do to them. Or they load them up with drugs, you know, or they do whatever.
Like I can. It's crazy because, you know, I've been incarcerated, you know, and I've been in that situation in prison, and I see it on the video. It's the same, and you already know what goes through my head. Like I read the book, I read what stories go on in these places, and I'm like, I hope, and I don't want that. I hope that's not happening, but I know. I want to believe that it's not, but I know,
right?
like
What does statistics?
restraining
What does
them.
statistics show?
The statistics at like the facility he's at has a bunch of lawsuits against it for all kinds of, and they and the statistics are that they are abused. They did a report on 5 facilities in the whole United States, and the place my son's at was one of them, and they deny it. They deny it, but I've seen it firsthand. Like I mean, my son got attacked on a visit when we were saying goodnight to each other. A kid, and the boy he was unclothed. And I mean, why was he going after my son? Why? My son was on a visit. And so me being 4 states away and seeing that's, and then with like the easy money thing, when they were joking with my son, in the background, I had to talk to him. That was on a phone. Like I was trying, that's when he first went out there, and the stuff, like the horrible things you hear in the background. And I'm like, and my son's a trooper. That boy's my hero.
Right. Do they have an area where he goes and makes the calls? Does he have like an iPad, or what? How does that work?
Well, he did have a tablet when he went out there, and apparently it got broke. So I think but he should have one, and they pick on him, and they have a tablet, and they supposed to another, like, we should get our alone, you know, but of course it's supervised over a video, which is crazy. I'm like, what am I gonna do 4 states away? Like, they stand over him, but they're supposed to take him away, but he's all the noise out of 2 years of visiting him on this tablet that they have. It's been loud. It's been like, I can't even talk to him on the phone sometimes. It's if I was supposed to get 2 hours, I think it was a week, but I mean, that was it. It's all up to, really, they ran the show. I mean, they would tell me my son didn't want to visit, and I know that was a lie. Because I'm sorry, my son's face lights up every time.
Is it, or is it just too much pain when you walk away?
Do what now?
Is it a lie, or is it your son, or do they just not want visits because it hurts so bad when they walk away?
No, they just don't want to deal with that. The impression I get, they just don't want, like, they'd rather not have to answer the phone or put a kid on a visit. I mean, it's hindering them, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's messing their time up, and it's crazy. Right. Like, it's when I call, I mean, even my aunt, that she calls into my son and talks to him, and he's so funny with her, and she gets on to him. She don't play with him. She might be 4 states away, but she gets on their butt. Because, I mean, they pick on him while he's on the visit. Like, you know, somebody's standing behind that tablet doing stuff because the way he looks. I mean, I went back and I was listening to some visits from the past, and even phone calls, and I had to stop listening because it just, I mean, sometimes he was over medicated horribly. He couldn't even talk. I don't even see how he can stand up. And then on another visit, he was like looking over his shoulder and kept telling somebody to leave him the hell alone. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why would he have to tell someone that? Why? And then it's on a visit, and you can see that somebody's walking past, but I never see the person. And in due time, we will have a podcast about this, if you want, because these residential treatment facilities, they are the things that I have found out, and just in the last week, are just, even to friends
We need to get you in touch. We need to get you in touch with my friend, the guy Bo Rupert that comes on here with us. He grew up in the system, and he spent his whole life trying to get back with his family. But he was in some awful homes, and he's done a couple of shows with us. We need to chat you up with him. You know what? Let me see if I can get a hold of them right now. Let's see if
I know, like, I don't know if we could talk about the whole there's a person, her name's Caitlin, but are we allowed to talk about that, the LGBT transgender, or no?
Yeah, you go ahead and talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, his name was, he was Christopher, and now he's Caitlin, and she says I can talk about it, and I met her on TikTok, and she reached out to me, and the story she tells, even about the same facility that my son's at, like, she helped out a lot, deal with the whole, when my son got sent out there. I'm glad I came across this person, because they've been gone through, and the things they've told me that they push on these kids, and they've gone through, like, they went from and did the change, the trans, and
yeah,
I mean, just the story that then, and I wish the things that they would do, like, just the abuse, and
yeah.
Maybe I can, she would probably come on the show and talk about it, and that's because it's, and you'll see like, she's not afraid to talk. She wants it to get exposed, because that's what these kids don't deserve this. They deserve to have a life. They deserve to, this is our future. They're our future. They're our future leaders, our future, and they don't deserve to be in the system, or they don't deserve to be set up for failure. You get, like my son, he's at the age where he was aging out of foster care, Well, 98% of them children, they don't have the resources when they age out. George, like, here in this state alone, right here where I'm at, they denied I forgot how much it was, like 74 million or billion for the kids aging out, and Georgia said they didn't need that. Like, that's money that these kids, yes, they do. They need a place to stay. They need a home. They need schooling. What if they wanted to go to college? And I've noticed that there is more families, like, opening up their homes for these older children, or older young adults that are aging out, and because they'll be homeless, like 98% of them are here. And then but I think it was first years or 2 years, they're either pregnant, present substance abuse, or some, like, in the rated. Yeah, so, and I've met a few, and I'm like, that's where my heart is these kids aging out, and the older, it's all over with CPS and foster care, but the kids that are the older ones, because, like, I went on the website, how they have the adoption website, and I wish I can just get them all and take, like, and they're all older kids. Okay, they're older kids, like, they're okay. Thank you, Tammy. And I'm not afraid to put the word, like, talk about this stuff now, because my son, he's like, Mom, he said, do what you got to do. He's like, because this ain't, he wants to bring 2 of the people home with him. He said he was going to put them in his pocket and bring it home with him. I thought that was cute. Yeah, because they're nonverbal, and I'm like, do you help them? And he looks out, and that's like his little, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, let's check this video out.
Okay. Okay.
I worked in real estate, and I had kids, so I took a significant pay cut to come work for CPS.
I work Saturdays and Sundays and evenings, and as the supervisor, I go out on cases.
Are caseworkers overworked and underpaid? Definitely. Are the caseloads too high? Definitely.
Been in foster care since I was 3 weeks old. That's not by choice. In this world, there's tons of negative outlets. There's gangs, there's drugs, there's
times in my job where I'm really sad, but I know that I've done the right thing. When I've removed kids from their parents and they cry and they want to be with their parents even though it's a horrible environment or they're horribly physically abused or sexually abused, and they'll want to stay with that parent, that perpetrator. I had a family one time that was mom that was smoking crack, and it was the most disgusting part. Roaches, I came out of there with bed bugs, roaches. You go in and you feel just saturated with bad energy.
I think one of the things is that we hold people's lives in our hands, just because of the decisions that we make.
It takes a village to raise children. We could probably have less criminals on the street if we took care of our kids while we have them preventatively, because there's a lot of statistics around prison and foster care. 70% of prisoners across America have stated at one point or another they were a ward of whatever state they lived in, and that's 70% of a lot of prisoners. That's a lot of people.
There's a lot of kids who are seeking some kind of guidance, some kind of not a void, but a relationship with someone that they can trust, because that's all they've had is losing trust.
When I was in foster care, I didn't really think anybody cared. I used to think there were a lot of people that got paid to do stuff like this, whether it was a good job or a bad job, and they got paid. I didn't even know that there were people or organizations or anything like that were interested in providing supplies and sorely needed resources for foster youth.
I've been in a position where I didn't know how I was going to get certain supplies for families, and I've used my own money to make sure that I could get a family a can of formula to last until their WIC card came in.
A day without PFC for a caseworker is very challenging. Partnerships provides a lot of additional resources to families in order to get services, clothes, toys, little things, diapers, formula.
We can't ask a caseworker with a caseload of 50 kids if that's what they're still having. I know that the rates are lower now, but still, if you have 50 kids on your caseload, you cannot go buy a pair of pants for every kid who rips their pants at school that day.
I love this job. I love these families, and I see these families as my own. I take them on as my own. They're very important to me. I see them as my families. I don't call them my clients. I call them my families. I see them as my aunts and my uncles and my cousins. That's what keeps me going every day, is that if I'm not here to do this job and work the hours that I work and put in the effort that I put in, who will? And I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. This was my calling. This is where I'm supposed to be in my life.
I think that donating to this program and finding people that can help those kids would help their futures.
I think that there's a perception that in order to give back, in order to contribute and be helpful to young people in foster care, there has to be a huge commitment. It's not that. Like, you only need 1 minute to change the life of a foster child. You have the means to donate things. That's a way to give back. You can mentor. You can become a foster parent if that's what you feel that your calling is. But there's so many ways to be involved that no matter how much time or how little time, no matter how much money or how little money, no matter what the circumstances are, there's always ways to give back. And places like Partnerships for Children are ways and places that you can get in contact in order to do that on any scale that you feel comfortable with. And that's what I would really like for people to know.
Now, does that sound like anything that you've encountered as a CPS caseworker?
No. Negative.
Right? That's not even close to what anywhere near anybody
no
I've
right
ever
down the
heard.
line, Darren. I know.
Right?
No, yeah, they
They certainly did not treat us like they were our family.
they all are, the ones that I mean, the new one, the one that's on the case now, she's probably more closer to that video than anyone I've ever been in contact with. The other one was we're overloaded, but and
All right. Sorry about that, guys. They keep booting us right off of here.
yeah, that's
Herbert, you awake?
Herbert.
I
It's
can't hear you,
been
I
bud.
hear
going.
you. There you
I'm
go.
listening.
There you are.
I'm listening, and it's been freezing up and freezing up, and
Yeah,
it's been acting
it,
weird.
yeah, it's done that 3 or 4 times.
Damn.
Yes,
Um,
I had to sign off and try to sign back on, and it was still going into frozen. But I could hear everything that Danielle was saying.
could you?
Yeah,
I heard
well,
you loud and clear, Danielle.
We have Bo Rupert coming in here.
Yeah, we
In a minute.
so when it kicked you off, Herbert?
No, what happened was I had to kick myself off because everything froze up.
Oh, okay.
You were talking, I could hear you, but you were not moving. Nobody was moving.
Oh, okay. So the screen was frozen. Yeah. So anything? Have you found out anything, Herbert, or have you been to people's doors?
Yeah. What I've discovered is that listening to you guys and every night and putting it all together, it's not CPS. CPS needs to do their job, what they're supposed to do. And they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And it's the people above CPS, whoever supervises CPS and the judges. Those are your problems, not the actual caseworkers. Because if the caseworkers are out of line, they get terminated.
No,
So
they
it's
do not.
really
A lot
no.
of
The reason why they don't get Darren, the reason why they don't get terminated because supervisors are not doing their job.
They get shuffled across the street, shuffled across to another department.
Yeah, like with my old caseworker, she got. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is, Darren, you're right when you say no, but it's a yes, because the supervisors are not doing their job, and the supervisors are not doing their job.
But
So it goes all the way up to the top of who's in charge of CPS. They're not doing their job, overseeing what's going on.
And what about the judges that overlook a lot of? I don't understand like how.
Well, I got a better one than that. Judges are not making appropriate decisions.
That's right.
And who's supervising the judges?
The
judges, the CPS personnel are only going to do what they're charged to do. And if they go to a judge and the judge says, "Okay, I'll sign the paper, go take the kid," maybe the kid should not be taken.
Well,
maybe that judge should be looked at. It should be further looked at.
Sign off. Well, what about if they leave it up to the like if it's a first like a first. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. Oh my god! Now you got me tongue tied, Herbert. If the case first starts and the investigation, when they first go out or whatever, it's up to, they leave it, and down here they let the caseworker or whoever's doing the investigation decide where to put, like, that's like in my case, they had my son with that corrupt aunt for 2 months and I didn't even know it. Like, who placed him with her for 2 months before my son was put in foster care? Like, no, that was not.
No, your son should not have been put with. Your son should not have been put with the corrupt aunt.
My son should have went with
The
me.
aunt should have been further. The aunt should have been further investigated to see if that's the right place to put your son. That wasn't done.
No, but my son was supposed to be like, I should have got him, because that's what I went to my parents' house to do. That's my responsibility. I'm the parent, and that's what we agreed upon over a decade ago. And she had bad intentions. She had bad intentions. She was bound to determine to sabotage me, like get me out of the picture. Whether or not she didn't, it didn't matter. She didn't want me. It's about my girls. That's what it is. It's about my daughters. Because I have 3 kids. I don't have just one. I have 3. And they got my girls. My girls are not even in foster care. They are still with the guardian, this aunt and my cousin, which is the daughter of my aunt. And she wanted me out of the picture, like, because she don't want me to have no relationship with my daughters at all. So I think that's really, it's really a greed and selfish, and it's messed up. It is, because this is a child's life you're messing with. Like, why would you? That's family. Like, no. But she don't realize that. I mean, really, I don't even think she cares. Like, she's just that heartless, I guess. I mean,
did not do a proper investigation. They did not do a proper investigation.
No, because they could have prevented foster care in my situation, because there is family, and my aunt and uncle that have stepped up to help get my son. They could have. I mean, I have more than enough family that's willing and able, but we couldn't find my son or nothing. Like, that's how secretive all this was. It was crazy. Like, they could have prevented foster care, and the caseworkers, from my understanding, had a fiduciary duty to exhaust all reasonable efforts and find family and do a diligent search, but they didn't, and they didn't do it at all. They went by straight up hearsay. My aunt said there was nobody willing and able, and that I abandoned my son, which was a complete lie. I was oddball.
You didn't abandon your son. You didn't abandon your son. Your aunt was manipulating the CPS people.
Yes. She did it with bad intention. She was wrong. It was wrong. She had every intention of getting this.
But see, the CPS personnel should have been able to read right through that she had bad intentions and not leave your son with her.
But you know what? They thought that they seen money. That's what it was. I mean, that's in my impression. They saw money, because the things that were said, I'm just like, but they didn't even give me a chance. Didn't even talk to me, nothing. Like, they hit me up on Facebook. They called me, text me or sent me a message on Facebook from a fake Facebook name. Not even their name. And it's crazy.
Hopefully with the new administration that's coming in January, a lot of this should change. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, do you really think that they're out there and they're out there doing? Are they going to really be focusing on that stuff, or did they just say this? Because all we're hearing is 85,000 immigrant children, 85,000 immigrant children, 85,000 immigrant children.
Do you know who Preston? Well, that is true, because Preston Myers, he was on the Trump. You know who Preston Myers is? He was I think he was on the Trump campaign. But he was saying something, and he was talking about the missing children and these kids that are lost. And he said, but they try to take the focus away from that and put it on something else. And what did he say? Something about some person passing on or something. I don't know, but they try to put that, but they're wanting to hush hush about the kids. No, that's where. And he's like, if his voice can help, he's going to keep talking. He said, and he needs everybody to talk with him to get it out there, because these kids need to be found. These kids need to be, where are they going? What are they doing? Where's the documentation? And like in Georgia, John Ossoff has the Foster Care Transparency Act, where these caseworkers and these facilities are supposed to be documenting, because I'm telling you, there is a lot of a lot of hidden stuff that they just brush under the rug and say it's satisfactorily reviewed and resolved. No.
Well, Danielle, we only have, like within the next 60 days, there's going to be a new administration. We should see change.
Yeah, but you know what you got to think about? That 60 days. What's going to happen in that 60 days with the other? Because that's where it's going to be. They're going to, and it's going to get, I think it's, I mean, I'm not going to say, I don't want to think this way, but they're going to retaliate horribly. The numbers have gone up here in Georgia.
There's going to be change.
And they know it. They know it. They're going to do. Yeah, well, they're going to do whatever they can to damage it before the new office gets in there. Before Trump, that's what they're going to do. And that's what we got to be prepared for. And it's good to know that I'm seeing parents start stepping up. So this 60 days is going to be what's going to make it. It's going to be the harshest, and we got to be ready, because just keep voicing yourself and keep. Where'd he go? Did he leave?
We're going again.
But you gotta, and like, that's what I've been, this 60 days is going to be the most intense the closer it gets. And I know Trump's he's been making, like, he's standing his foot down, but he can only do so much, because he's not sworn in or something. Like, I can talk about it, but I will get my rights to vote soon. Yeah. Privately owned, our government. What was that? What's for the change, Tammy? Or wait, I must have lost myself. It's what do you think is going to happen in the next 60 days? What do y'all think? What do y'all? I don't like what I hear when it comes to the Biden administration. I don't like. He pardoned his own son. That's wrong. But it's all about money. It's all about money. Yes. And just think, these kids that are in these facilities, they're banking off them. Like, my son, they thought was an orphan, straight up. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to talk like that, but they thought he was an orphan, and they made it hard for me to have access to him or get to see him. That's why because I have a history, and I am on probation. I can't just up and leave the state. I have to get permission. And that's the only one. They've been my probation. They've been really good. And they're not, as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. They said that's criminal. The CPS stuff is civil, and they said that as long as I'm in compliance, then there's nothing that CPS can do. And just the lies that and that's why I really do believe that's why they sent my son to Texas, to that place, because they told me there was no local placements for him here in Georgia when I'm right here, and so is my family, and they didn't even. It's and there's a facility 20 minutes from me, Darren, just like the one that my son's at. The same place. I could have been seeing but my son shouldn't have even went to a place like that. He's not a behavioral problem. But the way my aunt described him, she said she was in danger for her life. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's what this family member said to CPS. I'm like,
Right.
I mean, that's a child. Like, he just lost his Mima. You don't know. She don't know how to handle a special needs child. Yeah, she don't know how to do it, and that's it's crazy the lies that people can say and they get away with, but it's not going to happen much longer. Like it's going to be brought to light, and the more we talk, the more we speak about it, the more we have even like a conversation with other parents, the more it gets out there. And right. I've been, and like with the North Carolina thing, it's getting worse over there too. It's
every day, right? Every day it's getting worse.
Yes. And then now with the snow coming in and
poor people.
And I wish I could just but they're not even getting the volunteers that they should
help these people.
They're not even getting they need volunteers because it's like nobody is and people are stepping up, but it's not like it was but they just they're getting these now. People are donating the RVs and stuff, and they're putting them out there and these tiny homes, but the FEMA is not moving fast enough on what they're just trying to get them away from that land is what they're doing. They're any possible to get them off that land and off their family land. That's what they want. So I don't know. And that's it. The next 60 days with them people over there is going to be harsh too. Because they are, these people in the higher up positions, they need to I wish they would have hearts and just understand, but it's evil. It's evil. So like with North Carolina, have y'all seen any of the what's going on over there? They're picking and I heard they're picking and choosing who they want to put in these mobile homes. These trailers, RVs, whatever. So a lot of the volunteers that are no affiliation with FEMA at all or the government, they are doing it on their own. And like Samaritan's Purse, and there's I think it's Patriot Relief. That's another one that's over there. Darren, so what's up? Patriot Relief, Denny? Darren, was it Patriots Relief in North Carolina? Have you heard about them?
I do believe I heard something about them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the people like us that are going in over there and doing the work instead of the government.
It's like a volunteer group that.
Yeah. And they are doing they're bringing in people are donating RVs and they're taking them into these people because they're saying FEMA is picking and choosing who they want to help out. Yeah. That's what I heard. There's also the Cajun Navy. I've heard of the Cajun Navy was out there, but I haven't heard too much about them lately. But they were and there's less and less being told, like the information getting out and these people talking, there's less and less coming out. I've noticed it's not as much, but they're wanting us to, because we have to be the ones to spread the word because they're over there and they're limited. Yep, Patriots Relief. Yep.
That's it, right? That's their 800 number right there.
Yep, and they're doing a lot of helping get them warmth and food and feeding them and getting them in these what they need. Because I heard that they took some people and dropped them off in a town and didn't give them no funds, nothing. And Yeah, didn't give them no resources, and
Throwing them on the side of the road like a bag of kittens.
do what?
They're just throwing them on the side of the road like a bag of kittens.
And without, it's horrible. I could just them people. I mean, what I've experienced with them, I mean, it's getting worse. But I mean, it's getting worse than when it first happened. You know, like it's hard. It breaks my heart. It does. I mean, and you know, this is what they say. The people that are victims of the Hurricane Helene, they say that they're like, well, y'all have lives too. You know, y'all have your families at home. Y'all have your lives. We don't expect y'all to just be around us 24. You know, y'all have to live yours too, and it hurt. That hurts, you know, because I don't want them ever thinking that they're a burden to anybody. You know, never. And they're the most caringest, awesome. Like them Appalachia people. They're awesome. They are. It's just they just want people to talk. They like people to talk to, and they're very welcoming and everything. I mean, they're more about helping you than you helping them. I mean, and you would think it'd be the opposite. You would think it would be the opposite way, and
Right.
just to know that deep down that they know that that these people are trying to push them off their land that they've had for 30 years, and it's just, but they've already lost their whole past. Like they don't have family photos. They don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't, you know, I mean, you can just imagine. I mean, they are finding things, and I like it how the stuff that they do find in the debris, they have like a bunch of dry erase boards out there that they write on, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, because this is gonna be a long time to rebuild all that out there, especially like Spruce Pine, Swannanoa, Bat Cave, all that. It's I think it's Burnsville, Waynesville. It's I mean, even the drone footage, when you see it like from the sky and the mountain, it's bare. Like with the mudslides, it's bare. Like the trees are gone, and I'm just like it's something you would never. And just think, like these people did not get no type of warning, and I would never. I wouldn't know what to do, honestly. My anxiety goes up when I think about it, because I just feel for them people. And then here we are, when it was going on, we're watching from home, like that it happening, and I could just, I mean, I don't know what went through what y'all were thinking, but it was just the stuff they were playing on the news and everything. Wow. But you know, it's a lot. The news is not talking about it like they should. So the news is and Patriot Relief, I mean, and it's getting the weather out there, it's snowing and it's getting colder, so, and they had like what they call an Arctic blast or whatnot out there, and these people are in tents and no,
trying to take those away from them, aren't they?
Not
saying that those are unfit. Those are unfit for
the kids. Yeah, unfit for the kids. Yeah. And they only give, now in certain places, they only give them so many days. Like if CPSs came out there, they only give them like 10 days to get shelter. But yet American Red Cross has shut down. Like they started closing down their shelters and everything, and just packing up they were packing up to leave. I mean, why would you do that to them people? Like you didn't even give them a chance. And they're wanting to relocate these people out of state or somewhere. Why? I mean, why not? Like if we can send money overseas, why can't we give North Carolina the money they need to rebuild that community? Why can't we do that? I mean, if we can send money over there and for something that we should not even, we got our people to take care of, you know, right. And I mean, and it's just that's where these people are just, they're heartbroken because, and they're just, you know, this is a place like where we lived, where I mean, it's the all-American dream. Everybody wants to be in the U.S., you know? I mean, and for them to be done this way, and just the president and them just to think that they can just, like, go about their business. I mean, at least they're warm. I mean, I'm sure they're warm at night, and just to know that these people need help, and they need that, and I don't know what I'd do, honestly. I wish I was in a position to do more, you know. I really do. And
I mean, we all do, you know. Everybody does. That wish
yeah, and
yeah, we're responsible
yeah,
to save the world.
yeah, and
You know?
yeah. But if
Yeah,
we all,
I'm watching
but we all
more
can step.
videos. I was watching more videos about it today. So yeah, there's been some updates, but not too many have gone out really as of late.
You need someone on the show that is dealing with the firsthand, like your aunt. Are you talking about with North Carolina or CPS, Chris?
In North Carolina.
With North Carolina, I've actually got some missing, like, friends that are still missing out there, and they have not they have not been. So that's the other. I mean, that community out there was a lot of elderly people, and the land. Like, what if they don't have family? What's going to happen to that land? That's that. I mean, what's going to happen with that? Is it just going to? Who's it going to go to? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how that works. Both, yeah. And so, like, what's going to happen with that? I mean, if they have no family and that's going to be unclaimed, you know. And what
Right.
is the government going to get that land? I mean, it's crazy. And
Really.
and I think that's what they're dwelling on. Honestly, I'll tell you right now, I think they are, because it's that's because there's still a good bit of people missing out there. Did you see the list, Vinny?
Yeah, I seen it today.
It's still a good bit.
Yeah.
And they might come across them, but that's going to be a landmark mark in history. Like, it's where they put that Bible out there and that display case with the cross. And yes, they did it on purpose. Yep. And that's not. The next 60 days is gonna be just.
The time will tell, basically.
Yep.
But I think we're at that time anyway.
Yeah.
We started.
Yeah,
about 40 minutes ago, so.
This is at 20. We've been on 26 minutes this time, so if we can do last words.
Everyone want to do last words?
They're going to say the land is not right. That's what they're doing right now, Chris. They are saying that like Chimney Rock, they're not rebuilding nothing, and then other places, they won't let these people. Like this one gentleman was saying he lived there 30 years, and now they're saying he can't rebuild on his own land, and that's what they're doing. They're trying every which way to keep these people from having their land. They're just gonna and they're gonna take it right out from under them. That's what sucks. Like, it's like they were talking about land grabs and stuff. I mean, and what I'm like, the people that are passed on, the ones that that don't have family, what's going to happen with that land? You know what I'm saying? Like, that land's going to go unclaimed. Well, who is it going to be? Like, is there enough people? And that's what you get. What I'm saying? I don't even.
You guys
I know what
ready to do last words?
Yeah.
Ready to do what?
Okay.
What are you
last
doing?
word. Last word.
No, I got Bo. No, I got Bo coming on the show, dude.
Oh yeah, Bo.
You got who? Oh,
Bo.
Bo's coming on?
Bo coming on.
Yeah.
When did you start calling last words there, brother?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know how much time we had either.
Lord
Yeah.
almighty.
But no, we were just the North Carolina thing. I mean, and I I keep getting tongue tied. Like it's cold over here. Like I bet how cold is
it's not
it's
any
colder.
warmer in Maine, let me tell you.
Oh, I bet just y'all getting snow. It snowed in North Georgia. My aunt told me that. I was like, did it
We
snow?
didn't get much here.
Oh,
Up north got tons of snow, but we didn't.
I look my Florida.
They
They
can keep
said
it up there.
it's like a total different climate
Florida got
change.
snow?
Florida,
Is that
what?
what you just said?
No,
Florida got
Florida's
snow?
no, the weather. My son, no, my uncle was coming home from Florida because was working down there, and he when he got back to Georgia, he's like, "Oh my goodness, what?" I said, "Wait till you get up to North Georgia, it's even colder because that's how it's different." It's warm in Florida right now, and it's warm in Texas. Like my son was in shorts the other day. I'm like, what? Like, ugh. Snowed in Illinois. Did you get that picture of
Yeah,
him,
let's put it
Darren?
up.
Yeah,
Yep, we did.
I sent you that. Yeah, I was making sure I sent him to. So
This is
it's my
the first
son.
one, obviously.
Yeah, you don't have to show him all of it. So that's my son with my mom and my nanny. My nanny was the one. The nanny, she's the one that pretty much she raised my son. That was her. Yeah, they were like best friends. And then my mom is the one in the middle, and that's my son. And just see how he's smiling. And that's when he was a little bit younger. But like them two women right there are what made my son who he is today. Honest, like. If it wasn't for my nanny, because my son, he's got autism, and when he was born, he was normal. When we laid him down one night, and he was 3 years old, and the next morning it was like he went straight back to baby mode. He went. I mean, he
Really?
yes, he was talking and everything. He was potty trained. He was talking. He was up to date, like up to the developmental chart, like he was. And then we laid him down, told him good night, we love you, and then woke up the next morning, and he it's like he was a baby all over again. That couldn't talk. He was, I mean, and he couldn't. He was in there. He just couldn't voice it. He didn't know how to process it, and he was just screaming. And I hit my knees. I didn't know what to think. If it wasn't for my nanny, I don't know what I would have done, because we had to go through, we had to teach him everything all over again, and I still couldn't tell you what happened with him.
So they don't know why that happens? It just suddenly happens?
They've tried to say that it was the air. They've tried to say it was gluten. They've tried to say it was the red dye or yellow dye 1 or 5 that's in these. But honestly, there was a stretch of time that from like the year 2000 to 2010, I want to say, that autism was really common, and I thought it had to do with the yeah. But I won't even say it. But they won't admit that. But there was a stretch of time that there was a lot of kids coming up with autism, and they just didn't know how. That's why they had the spectrum. They didn't know how to diagnose it. Yeah, the autism spectrum. But
I think it's funny they call it the spectrum.
Well, there's even a form of it that gets misdiagnosed, and it's like, huh?
They used to call ADD that. It was a spectrum of ADD and ADHD.
Well, autism is it gets misdiagnosed because my son is ADHD. Like, I mean, he's ADHD like all the way. Yes, and the autism, I was told that he was gonna grow out of it by the age of 5, but he's 19, and he's hyperactive. Like he's always moving, always. Like that boy, he had a Fitbit and he walks 86,000 steps in a day. And he would walk the corners. Look, he would walk the corner to corner of the house, like just the wall. If it was raining, I mean, he's moving constantly. The boy, I mean, that he runs track and field like all 3 of my kids do. It's funny. I mean, and he's always got to be, because his mind's going so much, but he's very smart. He knows how to work on computers. He knows how to fix things. Like when he was little, he didn't want to play with toys. He wanted hand tools. Yeah. Oh yeah. He was always fix his own CD player, fix the window AC unit. I mean, he needs, like, he's in his head. So he needs a troubleshooting type of maybe career, like maybe like surveying, right, or something like that. And now this is when he first entered he was with the provider. He was first entered the system, and just see how he's just he's there, but he's not there. He's hollow. Because wait till you see the next picture of him. But see how he's pale, and this was the first day he looked worse than this when they got him from my aunt. Like, I didn't get the story my aunt tells me, the one that's helping me get him. She said he got cleaned up, but he regressed horribly. Like he was traumatized, and he's in there, but he's nobody's telling him nothing, and he's taken from his family and not told anything, and just don't know what's going on. And then and then he was mute during this time as well. He was not talking. He would not talk. So, and I came in the picture after that, because he was already in. It took him 2 months. It took me 2 months to find my son.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how, yeah. So, and this, now you see, now do you see, did y'all see the first picture? Now you see this picture. This is my son now. Like, look at that. That's my boy. That's my baby. He's 19, and look at just this. And I said, can I take a picture of you? And I took a picture of him, and I said, smile for me. And that was on a visit. And do you see? Yes. And that's what I think was the problem with that's what I was explaining, what happened overnight. And I think what you just said, Tammy. But you see the color, you see he's got color, he's got emotions, he's got feelings. That's my boy. The other picture, he was lost. He was, I mean, when I saw the day that my son started coming back to himself was when I met them I got to see him one time before they sent him out to Texas. I mean, they didn't even tell me they sent him out there. I got to hug him, and then he was gone. I was supposed to be at a visit, and they didn't even tell me that he was gone. CPS went in and my son was being hoteled at this time as well, with a provider that stayed with him 24/7. So they paid this person for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to be with my son. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. When they could have provided me with services to get, and I could have had, and because I got my brother as well, and we would, I mean, they didn't find nothing. Like, I was the placement. I should have been the placement, but they just was not, they didn't do their job. They didn't, and it took me 2 months to find them. Like, that's how secretive they were. And, but you see the difference in his complexion for both pictures.
Yeah, look at his eyes. Yes. His eyes are sunken in. He's tired.
Yes, and my son, he stays hungry. I'm gonna be honest. He stays hungry. My son is like, he eats a lot. He does, and now I've caused some issues. I raise hell, pretty much. I'll just say it. I raise hell, and they feed him double now than what they were, because I know my son. He would eat an apple, and he would try to eat the whole thing. My son's never done that. He would try to eat the core of it, So that if that
Wow.
tells you how hungry these, so I mean, and he just goes with the flow in there. They told me that he was their piece away from home when they're at work. I'm like, what, what, what is that? I mean, that could be taken like several different ways. I just, my son he chills. I mean, he don't bother nobody. He just
Right.
stays.
Harmless soul. Harmless old soul.
Yeah, right. And he calls everybody out there Danielle. So, so it don't matter. He's just that's my baby. That's my baby. That's that's my buddy. That's my best friend right there. That boy is, and he looks just like me. Like if I took my glasses off, he tells me he looks better though. I'm like, okay. he's yeah, he's a little bit, now that he's an adult,
Right.
yeah, he thinks you see his facial hair. He loves his facial hair. Like he's funny, but yeah, he's got a personality. He's good, and it just he don't need to be in a place like he's in right now. He comes from a loving
Right.
home, a loving family. Why would they do this? Why? So now, what kind of trauma has he been through? What's it going to take to make to let us get through it when he does come home? And what steps are we going to have to take? And what kind of, has he regressed at all? Has he got better? I mean, he's talking, but he would talk before, but they didn't know my son when he entered the system. They didn't knew nothing until I came in the picture. No, here's a kid that's in foster care in the CPS system, and it's supposed to be a sanctuary for him, and like a comfortable, like his safe haven, and they know nothing about my kid. I mean, they had him convinced his name was Albizi. I don't get it. Like, why? His name is Albert. Alex is what we call him. He did learn Spanish. I did, while he's been out there, I did teach him Spanish. Yes.
Oh, see? Not
So
everything goes noticed.
yeah, he like but they would never acknowledge what I do over these video visits. Like I never got a, like no what is it, credit for anything, like teaching him. And I mean, because if he didn't talk to me for 3 or 4 days, he would act up. And I told him, I said, because he knows he's supposed to be seeing me and talking to me. And if I was told that he had free communication, that all he had to do was, he can call me anytime, he can visit me anytime. I can't tell. I don't even get at first I wasn't even getting the 2 hours a week I was supposed to be getting. But he's 4 states away, and it's still supposed to be supervised. Come on. Like, what do you supervise on a tablet? He can't do but sit there and talk to me, But I don't know, these facilities are, the one that he's at is in League City, Texas, and if you look it up, it's not hard to Google it. It's something else.
It probably already has that date saved for you somewhere in the other.
The what? Say that
So it's
again?
probably already got that all saved for you. Like the whole thing is all cataloged, everything.
In
You know, when
2021, they had they somehow, I don't know how it got chaotic, and they had a riot there, and it was a big, oh yeah. I'm like, how? Like, why? I mean, you hear about it. It's all over Google. I mean, they deny that they don't have stuff like that go on in their facility. I can't tell. Like, I've seen it firsthand. 4 states away, I've seen it on a video. Like, it's I mean, there's so much I can say, trust. And we'll talk about it on a later show, definitely. Just right now, it's the holidays. Huh?
All right, Vinny, now kill it. I don't think Bo's coming with us.
All right. Herbert, last words.
Remember to learn all you can about CPS, and don't invite them in your home unless they have a warrant signed by an attorney, by a judge, and they have due cause to come in. And do everything you can to stay off their radar.
Right.
Danielle?
Keep fighting. Don't give up. Document everything, and let's make it happen, y'all. Pack it up, because let's get this going, because these kids, they need us. And pack it up. That's right. Let's unstoppable. That's right. And we got to be the voice, because they're unseen and they're unheard. We got to be like the ones in the residential, these facilities. We got to be their voice. The nonverbal ones, we got to be their voice. Who's speaking out for them? Who is? I mean, and they're just lost in the system. I mean, that's, yep. So keep fighting. Don't give up. And if y'all need to talk or need support, reach out. Reach out to any of us, and reach out to a friend. Just don't give up. We are here for you. Yep. Vinny?
Oh, you, Vinny.
All right. My last words are going to be this. To those out there that are facing fighting CPS, or i.e. criminal charges from CPS, you can fight this. You can fight back. Do not give up. Do not give up hope. There is always an opposition to their defense, and you can find the loopholes within, because I've been battling my case from the get-go, from the start, day one. And look at me, I'm a proven matter of fact here. I've fought in the system, and I'm still here.
Knowledge is power. And just don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out. Just don't. If you're hesitant about anything, reach out and ask somebody. Get that help. I mean, be consistent, be persistent, and be on it. Like, stay on it. Don't let them bully you. Do not let them bully you, because they will try.
Oh yeah. Mine is don't forget Vinny's show's on tomorrow night at what time, Vinny?
I think I'm gonna start it around 7:30 tomorrow night.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. So 7:30 tomorrow night. Don't forget to check Vinny's show out, and we'll have a bunch of new stuff coming on this week. So everybody have a good weekend. Keep CPS out, and I'm the CPS Punisher. We're out of here. Have a good night,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. Bye, Herbert.
Let's go. The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate. Quite yet the storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country, and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate. Then we liberate, praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accepted. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying out of sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition. No, I'm gonna start resisting, and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.